Hey, BassGeek here, and this is the loudest bladed jig in the world. But is it the best? That's right, geeks. I know this is the loudest bladed jig in the world. Is it the best? Has it climbed the mountain? Has it reached the pinnacle? Well, I'm going to show you why I think so, but I'm also going to show you a lot of the features so you can decide for yourself. And if any of you geeks out there have used it already, let us know in the comment section below what you think. Let's go. So the Copperhead Bladed Jig is by First Gen Baits. Now, you've seen me talk about the jaw dropper, the top spin. They really make some unique baits. They put some real thought into these baits. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let me go through some of the colors that they sent me first. Now, this is green pumpkin. The green pumpkin is probably one of my go-tos, especially when I'm fishing up shallow, because that's where all the panfish, the brim, that's where they stay, and this is a great color for me. Next up, they sent me a white. Now, if you're in some really dirty water, or you're in, some really heavy submergent grass, this is a great color. A great color during the spring. Match this up with a good red or bright orange trailer, and that's a burnt orange. This is a great color when they're feeding on those crawls in the spring. This color is shimmer gill. In some dirty water around some heavy grass, this color right here, when they're feeding on those bluegill, it's money. And I'm no pro, but this is definitely one of my favorites. This is pro's pick. What I love about this, it can be a shad or it can be a brim of some sort. So let's talk about the components and why I think this might be one of, if not the best, bladed jig on the market. Let's start with the obvious. Why is it called the Copperhead? Well, if you'll see, there's two beads right here, two copper beads. And what that does is it allows this blade to really slap and gives it that high-pitched, unique sound. Next up is the hook. The hook is actually a spinnerbait hook, which allows it to set farther back and increase your hookup ratio. On top of that, you've got a good hard wire keeper, and the sign of great quality, a hand-tied skirt. Although this blade is attached via a split ring, I will tell you, this has a very quick startup and vibrates at a very slow retrieve. Plus, you gotta love the small details, like the inlaid eyes. Let's talk about trailers on this. One of my very favorite trailers is this right here. Now, I like the green pumpkin or the baby bass. This is the 5-inch armor shad. Now, this could go good on one of the bluegill, or better yet, the Pro's Choice. It goes great with that. That color is called Smoke Black Silver Flake. Now, if I'm using this, it's really so I can keep that bait down. This is going to get very little lift. Even though any more plastic you add to this bait, you're going to get a little more rise, but a good straight tail. And the other option is something like this, or something like the Exxon. I love the bulbous tail, 6-inch fat finesse. Now, you can cut this down. A lot of times I will, but you're going to get very little rise out of your bait. You're going to be able to keep it down deeper with some sort of straight tail worm. Now, if I need a little bit of lift to keep this bait a little bit higher, there's one that is going to give me all kinds of action. It looks great on the Copperhead, and that is the J-Bros Ditch Lobster. Now, what's great about this is watermelon red. I love to pair this up with the green pumpkin, put a little bit of chartreuse. You talk about a bluegill imitating bait, it will get destroyed. And one of my very favorites, if you want a nice big bait profile, this has got to be it. This is the Whiplash Shad by Exxon Lures. This thing is incredible in the water. You talk about some really great tail action, and it really helps. This bait hunts very well already, but you put that on there and you talk about some crazy darting action, you're going to find it. To rig this thing, of course, we just come through that. I'm going to go ahead and tie that pit seam. We're going to wrap it about 5-6 times. Come through that loop at the top. If I'm fishing around a lot of grass, I'm just going to come right back through that bottom loop, and that just creates a San Diego jam knot. Moisten it just a little, pull it all down, and there you have it. Cut that tag in. Now, the difference between a San Diego jam and a pits team is that the tag end will point down toward the bait, not getting hung up nearly as much or catching as much trash around it. So like I said, most of the time, because I fish deeper water, I like to keep my bait up. So I'd normally put, say, a Yum dinger on there, or that green pumpkin or baby bass from Demiki. But today we're going to go ahead and put this J Bros ditch lobster on here. You just run it through the center, shove it up, out, and right on that keeper. There you have a great looking little bait. Now, a lot of times, if I'm going to fish this with, say, a ditch lobster, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce this off the bottom a lot. Just hop it up and bring it back to me. So here's the setup I have when I'm not fishing heavy grass. Now, this is my Fitzgerald. This is my VLD 10. This is a 6.5 to 1. You can get away with a 6.5. I like to fish these things slower, so a 6.5 is where I generally go, to a 7.1 when it comes to reel. Now, this is one of my favorites. This is the TFO option. I just love the colors of this rod. I like that gray. And this is a 7-foot medium heavy fast action, perfect 3/8 to 1 ounce. When it comes to line, of course, it's going to be K9. This is anywhere from 12 to 15 pound Pro 100 100% fluorocarbon. And like I always say, check it out. There's a 10% discount. So me, on my waters, not around a whole lot of grass. So one of my favorite ways to fish a bladed jig is kind of this hop and stop. So a yo-yo, much in the way you would fish, say, a rattle trap. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to cast it out there. I cast it up pretty shallow. I let it hit the bottom. And what I do is I just lift the rod tip as slowly as I can, really just get that bait to vibrate just a few times and let it drop back to the bottom again. And that's why I love using a crawl pattern or a crawl trailer doing this. It gets some really big bites. Even in clear water, it gets some big bites. So much like a jig, you want to keep that rod tip down straight out at about a 9 o'clock. Never go past an 11, because once you go past that, you have no power to set the hook. So up to 11 and then reel down, follow that slack line. When it hits the bottom, lift it up again. Hook set's going to be the same as a jig. You're going to come straight up. You're going to set the hook. It's got a good beefy hook in it. You're going to set it like you live, hard. Then you're going to reel down, get that rod tip in the water so that fish don't jump, and you're going to put his butt in the boat. Don't wait. If your net man ain't ready, slap him in the side of the head. Bass slap right in his daggum head. So be sure you check out the Copperhead by First Gen. I'm telling you, it starts up super easy. It's got a great vibration to it. It's a great hunting action. I'm telling you, I'll let you decide if it is the best bladed jig on the market. And if you haven't seen the Jaw Dropper by First Gen, make sure you go check this video out right here. As always, questions and comments in the comments section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. Be part of the 100% Watch Squad. And as always, you geeks rock.